guys, welcome back to another week of Mortgage Matters in Minutes. I'm your host, Brent Rasmussen, owner of Mortgage Specialists. Today is a very, hopefully short, concise video, but it's a very common one that nearly everyone wants to know: how to find the cheapest mortgage. And cheapest is different to every individual, whether cheapest is interest rate, closing cost, service, technology. But usually people, when they look at cheapest, they want the cheapest costs. And they don't always look at the interest rate in relationship to the cost. They just look at the interest rate generally and don't necessarily pay attention to the costs. And today we're going to show you exactly where to look in regards to loan disclosures that have to be given to you by federal law, so you know what kind of loan is the cheapest option for you. And the reason why we bring this up is because individuals may contact multiple lenders, but they don't know necessarily the forms they're looking at to understand what can change and what cannot change. So first, let's talk about federal compliance, which means once you receive an application that's turned in, the lender must send you a loan estimate within 3 business days. That loan estimate has a breakdown of your interest rate, your closing costs, taxes and insurance, your payment, your loan amount, basically all the numbers that you want to know about in regards to obtaining that mortgage loan. So we're going to show you here quick on the next screen here what a loan estimate looks like. And here we'll see the loan estimate. There's no numbers on this sheet, but as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. Here we'll see you'll have your loan amount, your interest rate, what your payment looks like. Then in the middle section, your payment will include taxes and insurance, and then how much your closing costs versus your cash to close is going to be needed at closing. So all that's in the first sheet. That's kind of the summary, but really what we want to look for on the second page is box A and box B. There's lots of different closing costs that are incurred in regards to obtaining a mortgage loan. And most of the time, when you get an itemized sheet, you'll see tons of different itemized itemized costs that are on that disclosure. We can share with you as mortgage lenders, we don't control those costs. Even though by federal RESPA law and TRID law, that we have to disclose those interest rates and closing costs to you into an APR, we don't get a chance to know exactly what each one of those costs are, because you as the consumer get to pick some of these different providers that are needed throughout the transaction. Like, you get to pick your own homeowner's insurance agent. You can pick whatever title company you want to use. You can pick a home warranty. You can pick a lot of different other things that exist throughout the process, which again might determine what that end up costs are going to be at the end of your transaction when you show up at closing. So let's talk about that. Let's go into the loan estimate here now that you understand a little bit more. But on the top of the second page, here's the first page loan estimate. Second page will itemize out all the closing costs. And third page is going to give you your APR right in the top section of the document here. But more or less, people do not look and review page 2 of the loan estimate. And what we can suggest to you to keep this easy, the government put this document together to help consumers shop for mortgage loans. If you look up RESPA law and why it was created, RESPA was created to protect the consumer and allow the consumer to shop for mortgage loans. So box A and box B are generally the only boxes, and I can't say generally, I can say it is the only 2 boxes that the lender has any control over what the costs are going to be. Because everything else in the sheet is going to come down to your credit, your loan size, who you choose to work with for insurance and title and real estate professionals, all that. So if you are shopping between lender A and lender B, you can look in box A and box B and see what those costs are that lender is charging. Those are the only 2 sections the lender has any control over. Box A is going to have what's your underwriting fees, any processing fees, any points. Box B is items that you cannot shop for, which would be an appraisal, a credit report, if they have an affiliation with a title company or an affiliation with an appraiser or someone else. Any affiliations will bump up into that box. But if you look at box A and box B, those are the numbers that you want to compare lenders to lenders. You want to compare that with the interest rate, because just because that place has a cheaper interest rate, you might see in box A or B much more expensive closing costs than you would if you've seen a normal interest rate without it being so cheap. So this is where the problem exists of individuals trying to compare mortgage loans, don't compare the closing costs in relationship to the interest rate. And there's always a factor, there's always a relationship there. The cheaper the interest rate, the higher the costs are going to be. And generally, the higher the rate, the cheaper the costs are going to be. And that number is going to move back and forth. So if you're looking for the cheapest option for you, cheapest might be the cheapest interest rate. And so you might be willing to pay more in closing costs for that. Most people here in the Omaha area don't want to pay absorbent extra closing costs. So you want to look at what the costs are normally for your area and look at the interest rate that compares to it as well. If we go back now to their loan loan estimate here, there's other boxes that you can shop for. Section C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. All of these are going to be numbers that are going to be plugged in to add to your cash to close. But you pick most of those out. You pick the title company. You pick out what property you're buying. You pick out your insurance company for how much you pay for homeowners insurance. Some of it obviously is not within your complete control, but you are the one that chooses those things. And we as lenders don't have an opportunity to shop those for you in regards to what's going on. So the more you can understand box A and box B and those fees, it's simpler for you to shop around. Much simpler to look at two sections of a loan estimate versus every single line item, because us as lenders are always going to plug in numbers for title. We have to. We have to plug in extra fees and estimate what those are. Certain lenders like us would rather over-disclose those costs than under-disclose. And I've seen many lenders play a game of let's lowball these numbers to make them look better, but then when you show up for closing, it's the same numbers that Brent would put in versus some other lender. And that's what I want to assure you here when you're looking at loan estimates. At the end of the day, anything outside of box A and box B is going to be the same no matter what lender you go with. Because all of us, if I process the loan or lender ABC or 123 process the loan, all of these charges that are listed on this item besides box A and box B are going to be the same. And that's where I want to try to educate the public and let them know it's not as daunting as it may seem to shop for your mortgage loan. Looking at what the lender's charging for underwriting, processing, application fee, appraisal fee, credit report fee. Generally, you look at those 5 items, you add those together, that's what the lender is charging you for obtaining that loan. And it's as simple as that. If you look at other line items in the total, some people look at the bottom saying, hey, my payment over here is cheaper than over here. They could be estimating a different property tax or insurance, something outside of a variable to make it look more appeasing to you, when in essence, it's not. I hope today you learned a little bit. We're here to help educate and provide you factual information in regards to mortgage lending and real estate and how those work together. But we're always just a phone call away at 402-991-5153, or check us out on our website at mtg-specialist.com. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you here next time. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.